right. So trade recap of the dollar trade I took this week. Just want to go over, why the trade was taken, kind of how I chose target, how I chose my entry, and how, I decided on stop loss. So Sunday's candle, market popped right up, okay, and it, created this big gap. So when I see that, first thing to me, that gives me a target. I'm looking for this gap to fill. Okay, so I always mark out the gap, and I'm gonna look for a trade into for it to fill. So what happened is that first candle on the hourly close, it created a big, sweep of Thursday's high. And I know a lot of people, they would look at this and say, okay, there's an SFP trade, there's whatever. I can measure the gap out, use that for a stop, so on and so forth. I wasn't comfortable taking that, any trade based off of this candle because above it, we had a pretty good SR level. All right, resistance above that. I felt like there is possibility that the market squeezes that, and if I'm going to take a trade, based off that hourly candle, my stop's going to have to be above this level, and it's really going to give me like an unfavorable risk to reward. So I didn't want to get on board on something like that. I felt that stop's a bit wide on that sort of a trade. So I said to myself, you know what, so be it. If it goes a target, it goes a target. Or, if price can unfold a little bit more and give me something else to get on board with, that's what I'll look for. So what happened is as the day went on, price basically started bouncing off this area, all right, and then ultimately broke down around 10 in the morning for me, and, wasn't a convincing break. Okay, so for me, when I see that, it really wasn't a convincing break. It just kind of trickled underneath that level, and then it started kind of hanging around. So I said to myself, that I still don't want to take. I'm not really comfortable with taking that yet. So you know what? If it goes to target, based off of breaking this bit of a level, so be it. But I didn't really, wasn't super confident in this. So I let the market do its thing. It kind of pushed down, and I thought at this candle here, at the 2 p.m. candle, I really kind of thought, okay, it's probably going to go to target. And then as it kind of started pushing back up, I said, okay, let's just see how things go here. And it ultimately ended up kind of pushing up a bit higher. Now, 4 p.m. Trading's done for me. I got family obligations. So this to me is I'm not at my desk anymore. Okay, so when I came back to my desk the next day, I noticed that the market had, created this bit of a range. Okay, so right through the Asian session, it created this bit of a range, and into kind of early London trading, and then 5 a.m. The candle it popped above the range. Okay, so it takes out kind of the evening traders, and it takes out a bit of the session highs from previous day over here as well. So when I saw that, I said, okay, now that's interesting. And then the next candle, it just broke right back through and into the range. And I said, okay, this has created a bit of an over and under and a bit of a range play. So what I said to myself is that should be enough for the market now to make its way to the downside. And I will look to get on board this once the market breaks, this SR level. Okay, so as this hourly candle was kind of breaking through, I entered. I didn't wait for the close, but it was close to the close. This candle was breaking down through, so I entered the trade here, and my stop was at the high of day because I felt like, listen, it's already taken out, early, highs from, kind of the Asian session, plus highs from the day before a bit. So if it really wants to go and fill this gap, there shouldn't be any need for it to come back up above. So I put my my order in. Wasn't a limit order. I entered at market, and stop was above the high here, and I targeted purple. I ended up getting about a 1.4-hour trade once kind of I accounted for spread and kind of getting into the market. So that's kind of how I took this trade, and you can see we retested the underside of the level, and then it sold right off and went to it. So again, that's just a quick recap on kind of how I chose the target, how I kind of decided my bit of my analysis of why I took the trade when I did, and how I chose to kind of place risk on the trade. Hope you guys learned something there, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.